Good morning. Welcome to today's New York City Council hearing for the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchise. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to place all electronic devices to silent. Chair, we're ready to go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a meeting of the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchises. I am Councilmember Kevin Riley, Chair of the subcommittee. This morning, I am joined by Chair Salamanca, Councilmember Shulman. Today, we are holding two public hearings on LUs numbers 429 and 430 concerning the 1551 Broadway Midtown signage, text amendment, and special permit, and Resolution 1109 of 2025 concerning an amendment to the Public Communication Structures Franchise Authorization Resolution. This meeting is being held in hybrid format. Members of the public who wish to testify may testify in person or through Zoom. Members of the public wishing to testify remotely may register by visiting the New York City Council's website at www.council.nyc.gov/land-use to sign up. And for those of you here in person, please see one of the sergeant-at-arms to prepare and submit a speaker's card. Members of the public may also view a live stream broadcast of this meeting at the Council's website. When you are called to testify before the subcommittee, if you are joining us remotely, you will remain muted until recognized by myself to speak. When you are recognized, your microphone will be unmuted. We will limit public testimony to 2 minutes per witness. If you have additional testimony that you would like the subcommittee to consider, or if you have written testimony that you would like to submit instead of appearing in person, please email it to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. Written testimony may be submitted up to 3 days after the hearing is closed. Please indicate the LU number and/or project name in the subject line of your email. We request that the witnesses joining us remotely remain in the meeting until excused by myself, as council members may have questions. Lastly, for everyone attending today's meeting, this is a government proceeding and decorum must be observed at all times. Members of the public are asked not to speak during the meeting unless you are testifying. The witness table is reserved for people who are called to testify, and no video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant-at-Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. I will now open the public hearing on LU items 429 and 430 regarding the application known as 1551 Broadway Midtown signage, text amendment, and special permit. The text amendment will create a special permit that would allow applicant to replace 3 existing advertising signs in Times Square with 2 larger ones. This project is located in Councilmember Botcher's district. For anyone wishing to testify regarding this proposal remotely, if you have not already done so, you must register online by visiting the council's website at council.nyc.gov/land-use. For anyone with us in person, please see one of the sergeant-at-arms to submit a speaker's card. If you prefer to submit written testimony, you can always do so by emailing it to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. I will now call the applicant panel for this proposal, which consists of Eric Plantnik, who is online. Council, can you please administer the affirmation?
To our Zoom team, can we pull up Eric on the screen if possible?
Zoom team, can you please pull up Eric Palatnik on the screen? Eric, if you can hear me, please unmute and speak.
I can hear you.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
You can read the affirmation.
Good morning, Mr. Polana. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in your testimony today and in response to council member questions?
I do.
Thank you. Eric, I just need you to speak up a little bit.
I do. Okay, you got it.
Thank you. For the viewing public, if you need an accessible version of this presentation, please send an email request to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. And now, Eric, you may begin. Just please reinstate your name and organization for the record.
Sure. My name is Eric Palatnik, and I'm the applicant, and I'm proud to represent 1551 Broadway in an application to permit a very unique sign, an anamorphic sign, to replace the existing outdated sign at the premises. With your permission, I'd like to continue.
You can continue.
Thank you very much. We're happy to be here today. As you can see with the project overview that's on the screen in front of you, the left side of the screen shows you at the bottom the existing conditions at the property right now. They're comprised of outdated LED technology, some of which are defunct and not in operation. You'll also see as I go through the application, there's a taller sign rising above that is in operation. The application that we're here for today is the portion of the sign that rests at the bottom of the tower. We rest within Councilman Botcher's district within Community Board 5. As you can see in the middle column, we're requesting a zoning text amendment to the special Midtown District Theaters subdistrict to create a new zoning special permit, which would modify signage and frontage regulations for zoning lots with 10,000 square feet or less of lot area. This would allow the project to waive out of outdated zoning requirements, which include a 6-foot setback requirement along Broadway, and I'll explain that in a minute. On the right side of the screen, you can see what we're trying to achieve. It's really nothing much more than what you see all around the country and all around the world. Modern, up-to-date technology. It's called anamorphic technology, and it allows for 3-dimensional displays in the form of anything that's put up on the screen. Next slide, please. As you can see, this is displayed in much clearer version right here on the left-hand side. It's one uniform lower version of the sign. That's what the special permit, if you support the application, would allow us to achieve. As you can see on the right-hand side, it's modifying section 81-7734 of the zoning resolution, and it would allow, at the bottom of the screen, you can see it will allow for the 2 signs to replace the existing 3 signs that are there right now. Next slide, please. This really shows it to you in a little more clear version. The left side of the screen shows you what's existing. The right side shows you what's proposed. If you just keep your focus on the blue portion at the bottom, the 2 bottom portions on the left side, that's what's there right now. You can see there's a lower sign that's about 5,769 square feet, and that's set back once you hit the 60-foot mark. It sets back on the Broadway side of the sign by about 6 feet, and the upper sign then goes and rises up to the height of 120 feet. We don't want to include that setback anymore. It doesn't become of the anamorphic technology, which really requires one singular plane upon which the dimensions and the images can be displayed. So the right-hand side of the screen shows you that. You'll notice that there is a tower rising above the 250 feet. That's allowed as of right. That exists right now. We're not asking to change that, although we will be changing the technology. Next slide, please. This just shows you everything I explained in more detail. The left side shows you the yellow portion is the waiver area. That's the 6-foot setback that we're asking now to eliminate under the new text. The right-hand side shows you what I haven't yet spoken to, which is the top shows you what we're required to do on the top right, which is have 3 different signs. That's actually the way the old zoning is written. It was written to achieve, obviously, much different materials and much different state-of-the-art technology back in the 70s when the regulations were drafted. The bottom shows you what we want to do. The top shows you what we're required to do, which is have 3 signs. We want to eliminate that text and just have 2 signs, and that's what this application is all about. The next slide just shows you next slide, please. That shows you which properties would be affected by the application. It would apply to 17 lots. We don't expect that many of them would take advantage of what we're doing here. This is a very unique location already with existing signage, which we're simply really just replacing like for like. Go to the next slide. The next slide is rather compelling because it shows you it caught a moment in time when the signs were dark. And they did fix some of the technology on the lower sign, and they invested some money in it. But the top sign is just a vinyl wrap that's around it right now. It's not actually a sign, and that's because it's very expensive to keep the signs going with the old technology. So the new approval, if it's approved, the new sign would replace what you see here in this image. Next slide, please. This gives you more imagery of what's existing right now on the property, just so you can understand it. Go to the next slide. This is exciting. This shows you what it's going to look like if it is approved. Clearly, you could see, everybody could see the difference. It allows for basically what you see everywhere you go. If you go to the next slide, it really shows you some cool stuff. This is probably some of the wildest stuff that's out there, and allow for things like this to be displayed in Times Square, in a special district, which is, and I quote, the world's foremost concentration of diverse and entertainment-related uses. So really, we're speaking to the heart of Times Square here. Next slide. The rest of the slides I have for you are really just a lot of technical information showing you everything I just explained. I'd be happy to stop my presentation right here. I'd also mention that we did meet with the community board, and we've met with the council person, and I have not heard of any opposition to the application or the request at all. Thank you very much for your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Eric. I just have 3 questions for you, just so you could clarify for the record. What do the current regulations require advertising signs? Excuse me. Why do the current regulations require advertising signs to be split up into smaller displays instead of allowing 1 or 2 large signs as you are proposing?
I think the reason was to encourage people to have smaller businesses in place in Times Square. I don't think you see the type of larger big box retailers that you see now. Back then, I think there were much smaller storefronts. I remember when they were all painted different colors, but when I was a kid, when some of them were boarded up. But it wasn't what you see right now. So we believe that was the intent. We've spoken about it. And the setback requirement, we believe, is a function back then also just of setbacks in general. It was the way the buildings were designed, and if you look at the evolution of zoning through the years, there's been setback requirements imposed since the zoning was created, and we believe it was a part of that as well.
Thank you. Just want to state for the record, we've been joined by Councilmember Carr. Can you provide examples of existing signs in Times Square that do not comply with the setback requirements you are seeking a waiver from?
Sure. If you can go to page 8 of the presentation, basically the whole side of that whole page shows you similar unique conditions.
Can we go back to page 8?
Whoever's controlling the screen. You can see here our sign is on the left-hand side, but you can see on the right-hand side, you can see the signs that all rise up to the height of 60 feet, and you can see how they're all broken down into individual sign frontages as you go across the properties.
Okay. We also been joined by Councilmember Moyer. Did your team conduct any study to make sure that the proposed signs would not negatively impact safety along this busy corridor for pedestrians, bike users, and drivers alike?
Well, we conducted an environmental assessment statement, and we did have a lighting specialist review as far as the amount of lumens that are being emitted, and we found nothing negative to be of any concern to anybody in the community, and the community board felt the same way.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. I have no more questions, so you're excused. Okay. Just want to confirm there's no members of the public who want to testify on this proposal. Christopher Leon Johnson.
Yeah, hello. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson. I have 2 minutes to kill. I'm here to show support for that project. I just saw this on the computer, and I was like, "Wow, that's a beautiful outlet." I don't know about the city. Yes, will that allow the developers to do this without community input? But I think that the city council need to start pushing for more of these signs to be lit up everywhere else all over the city. Those work in Japan, like in the works in Korea. I saw. I mean, that those are nice. Those are nice designs. I mean, I like that illumination. One thing I want to say is that going forward, I think the city council need to start pushing more for these all over the city, especially in Union Square. Get rid of that clock at Union Square and turn it to like a LED light screen. So I'm here to show support. I hope this goes through. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There being no other members of the public who wish to testify on LU number 429 and 430 regarding 1551 Broadway Midtown signage, text amendment, and special permit, the public hearing is now closed and the items are laid over. I will now open the public hearing on Resolution 1109 of 2025 regarding an amendment to Public Communication Structures, PCS, franchise authorizing resolution. This resolution would extend by 5 years the franchise agreement with City Bridge to install and operate Link NYC kiosks throughout the city. For anyone wishing to testify regarding this proposal remotely, if you have not already done so, you must register online by visiting the council's website at council.nyc.gov/land use. For anyone with us in person, please see one of the sergeant at arms to submit a speaker's card. If you prefer to submit written testimony, you can always do so by emailing it to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. I will now call on the applicant panel for this proposal, which consists of Brett Seekoff and Chantel Sinatus. Council, can you please administer the affirmation?
Good morning. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in your testimony today? I do. Thank you.
Thank you. I just ask that you please reinstate your name and organization for the record. You may begin.
Of course. Brett Seikoff, Executive Director of Franchise Administration for OTI.
Chantal Senatus, Deputy Commissioner for Legal Matters at OTI.
Good morning, Chair Riley, Chair Salamanca, members of the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchises. Again, my name is Brett Seikoff, and I am the Executive Director of Franchise Administration and Broadband for the Office of Tech and Innovation, or OTI. I'm here today with Chantal Senatus, OTI's Deputy Commissioner for Legal Matters. We will discuss Resolution 1109 of 2025, an authorizing resolution, or AR, submitted by the mayor pursuant to Section 363 of the Charter to extend the term of non-exclusive franchises for the installation, operation, and maintenance of public communication structures citywide, or PCS. In other words, this AR will simply allow OTI to negotiate an extension of the franchise agreement that permits the operation and deployment of Link NYC, the city's free public Wi-Fi kiosk program. As you know, Link NYC is the world's fastest free public Wi-Fi network, providing high-speed connectivity, free phone calling, device charging, and connections to vital city services across the 5 boroughs. Because it is made possible through a franchise agreement that allows City Bridge to deploy kiosks on the city's valuable rights-of-way, these free services do not cost any taxpayer money. In fact, the program has generated approximately $130 million in crucial revenue for the city over the course of the franchise. Since its launch in 2015, the network of about 2,250 Link NYC kiosks have become an integral part of the city's streetscape, providing free Wi-Fi to over 19 million subscribers, facilitating over 30 million phone calls, promoting over 2,200 community-based nonprofits and local small businesses through Link NYC's Link Local program, and boosting critical city messaging, among many other benefits. Link 5G, the kiosk design City Bridge has been deploying since 2021, supports the future needs of 5G infrastructure throughout the city. OTI anticipates continuing the growth of this program and maintaining it for years to come, which is why we support this authorizing resolution. An extension of the term of the franchise, which is what the AR before us today would authorize, will enable City Bridge to continue providing Link NYC services that New Yorkers rely on. If the council passes this AR, we can begin earnest discussions with City Bridge to restructure the current franchise to better serve New Yorkers and the city in light of real-world conditions, requirements, and evolving technologies. We intend on negotiating more favorable terms for the city with respect to minimum annual guarantees, higher minimum annual guarantees of revenue, alternative designs for residents and historic districts, and a community-focused approach to new deployments. The AR under consideration today will allow for the extension of the term of OTI's franchise with Link NYC franchisee CityBridge for a maximum of 5 additional years, bringing the total term of the agreement up to 20 years. Upon council passage of the AR, the substance of this extension will be determined through a negotiation between OTI and CityBridge and will be subject to the approval of the Franchise and Concession Review Committee, or the FCRC, and the separate and additional approval of the mayor. We respectfully request the council's consideration and passage of this authorizing resolution. We'll now be happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Brett.
Of course.
I'm going to ask a few questions, then I'm going to turn over to Chair Salamanca. My first question, you answered it within your testimony. Currently, right now, you said you installed 2,250 kiosks. The projected number, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was supposed to be 4,000. Can you please explain why you haven't met that target and what barriers you have encountered in doing so?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So you're right. The current target is 4,000. The requirement is that they build 4,000 over the life of their franchise. Over the last several years, really since COVID, there's been, as we've converted or transferred over to the Link 5G model, there were several kind of just planning and approval and compliance realities that came into play, including getting the additional approval of the from the New York State for the 5G structures. So in order to get those approvals from the New York State Historical and Preservation Office / FCC, that took a lot more time than we anticipated. Plus, there's just the realities of proposing sites that often fall through for one reason or another. They don't meet the siting compliance requirements. We often get feedback from the community when a site is proposed that requires that it come off from consideration, and then sites are reallocated as necessary. Part of the long-term outlook, assuming if we're able to get this extension, if the AR is passed, is to take another look at whether 4,000 is the right number. There may be a number less than 4,000 that right sizes the franchise to a number that better meets the needs for the telecom industry as far as their planning for wireless infrastructure upgrades, and also addresses the community's concerns about maybe there being too many in our communities.
So you guys are open to decreasing that number if possible?
If it makes sense.
If it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
okay. The whole point of this proposal is for it to be more equitable within our community and accessible.
Absolutely.
So what measures are being placed to ensure an equitable distribution of kiosks across all communities, including underserved or out-of-borough neighborhoods?
Yeah, and Councilmember, Chair, as you said, that's really the foundation of really all of our franchises, not just the public communication structures. With respect to our mobile telecom and information services franchise, is building that equity, making sure that historically underserved, underconnected communities are finally getting what they deserve. The core tenet of this franchise is that 90% of new structures that are built must go above 96th Street in Manhattan and the outer boroughs. So they're not below 96th Street, where they've been saturated for many, many years. And that, we fully expected that, if not that exact equity provision or equity provision similar to that, will continue to ensure that communities that do not have the appropriate levels of broadband coverage or need wireless coverage are addressed through this franchise.
So just asking, so you said 90% is supposed to be above 96th Street, right?
Right.
Is there like a specific plan in where you guys are going to locate these kiosks? Do you have like zip codes? Are you guys going to be working with community members? What kind of feedback can you give with that?
So there are currently 13 targeted equity districts that comprise of really across the city, where, again, this goes back to 2020, 2021, where there were assessments made about the numbers of people who have home broadband and median incomes and pedestrian accounts that we targeted as being high need.
So
and
13, is that 13 zip codes that you could provide?
In community districts.
Community districts.
Yep. We're going to take another look at that as we move forward in the franchise to see if that still makes sense, if those 13 districts are considered equity districts, if it should be.
And that number was justified in 2021, 2022, roughly?
Pursuant to the Third Amendment of the franchise.
Would that change now
It could.
Potentially?
We want to, take this opportunity to make sure we're doing this right, to make sure that
Okay.
the community's needs are addressed, and if they are changing based on what's happened in the past 5 years, for example, the OTI launched the Big Apple Connect program, which provides high-speed internet to 220 Nycc developments. That will likely make a big impact
Yeah.
on what we consider an equity district, and maybe there's other areas that could be better served.
Okay. All right. If you could provide that list that you have from 2021, that would be helpful. And as soon as possible, if you could get that new list, I think that would be helpful for the council as well. Could you explain the criteria or process used to determine where kiosks are installed in a neighborhood?
Yeah, so we do have vigorous siting criteria, so they can't just go anywhere, right? They have to maintain. There's dozens, about 100 different siting criteria. They can't go too close to one another. We have to maintain a clear path. Can't go too close to other street furniture, fire hydrants, things like that. So working with those restrictions, the franchisee City Bridge also looks at where there's business needs for the cellular communications network. So the cell providers, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, they all have and can take advantage of the benefits of the Link 5G, given that they can site their antennas and radio equipment in the structures. So where there are needs for them to improve coverage, improve capacity for their networks, that will factor into where City Bridge makes their applications to us. But it starts with City Bridge. They propose to us a location, working within, again, the siting criteria, the business needs of the community, our equity requirements built into the franchise, and then that kind of settles into where the locations are.
So after
proposed.
City Bridge proposes the locations, right? Is there any like public outreach efforts that you guys have with the community to let them know, like, hey, this is a potential location that we will put this kiosk? And then after you get feedback, does that feedback have any weight on if that location is the best location to have it?
Yes and yes. So when we get a proposed location, we do, like I mentioned, a rigorous review to make sure it meets all the siting criteria as an initial review. Once we determine that it does, simultaneous with the larger New York State Historical and Preservation Office review for the sites that City Bridge initiates, we reach out to every community board, every council member, every borough president, and provide them with 60 days to review the site. We give them information about where it's located. We seek their input. We attend community board meetings. We meet with members as requested. We really do, in earnest, try to find out what this potential site would mean to that community, and if there's a better location or if there's a concern with that particular location. And then to answer your second question, when we do get the feedback, we take it back, try to determine if it's just people just don't want it versus maybe it could go around the corner. Maybe there's a better location where there's less traffic, less foot traffic. Maybe there's a certain building next door to it that they just didn't want it to be sited next to. So where there's a practical solution to be able to move it, we make every attempt to do so. Otherwise, we do engage the community, try to answer all their questions, address the concerns to the extent if we cannot move it, we at least try to make sure everyone's heard and give them an opportunity to provide their input.
Okay, I'll come back on that, but I know our chair probably will dig more in on that. So, Chair Salamanca, I'll give you the floor to ask your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. I just want to continue on to that conversation there. Then I have my list of questions. So you're saying that when you're proposing sites, you send them out to community boards and the council members, and you attend community board meetings?
We do.
You do. It's okay. That's the first I hear of it. And you attend community board meetings at the request of the community board, or you just come as an applicant and say, hey, this is what we're presenting. I want to present to the community board.
It's the latter. So when they say, hey, we've received this letter, what does it mean? What does it do? How can we get more information back to the community? We either offer to attend an upcoming committee meeting or they'll say, hey, can you come to the next committee meeting? Or we have one if it's in the late spring, early summer, and they're not meeting over the summer, we'll give an extension to that 60-day period to attend that community board meeting. We've done that quite often. So it's largely the latter in that, upon request, we're totally available.
What happens when a community board does not agree with that location?
So it really depends on what the issue is, right? And we certainly hear people, and we want to be accommodating as much as possible. The fact remains the infrastructure that's being installed provides a tremendous amount of benefits and utility to constituents. And if we receive negative feedback on a particular site, just to say, we don't want it in the community, we don't want it in the neighborhood, we don't want it in the city, we're really neglecting the majority of the city that is fully engaged.
No, I understand.
With these
I understand. What happens when a community board does not want that kiosk in that particular site?
So we certainly take the feedback in, and we did try to determine if it's something that can be relocated nearby. Like if we get feedback that it's, as I mentioned, the Chair Riley, it's in front of an area, a school or something. So we've given you an example. Forgetting the exact location, I think it was in Tremont. There was a site right in front of a school entrance, and it was proposed in front of a entrance to where school buses drop off kids. Made no sense to go there. It met the siting criteria, but it didn't make any sense to go there. So we were able to work with the franchisee to find another location within the neighborhood that also met the needs of the community. If it's just we don't want it because we don't want it, not to be callous about it, but we've got to think of the greater good for the
understand.
community.
Who chooses the sites? Is it the franchisee or is it the OTI?
So the franchisee, City Bridge, will come to us with their proposal.
So they go out, and my understanding they're going to testify after you. So just to understand the process, your role and their role.
Mm-hmm.
So they go out, they choose locations, and then they present you with the locations.
Correct.
OTI.
That's right.
And then you review it, and you give. You come to some type of agreement, and then it goes to the community boards and council members. The 60-day notice, you're saying, correct?
Right. We initially do that preliminary review to make sure it meets the minimum siting criteria, and then it goes to the community.
Does someone from OTI physically go and visit the location?
We do.
And they say, I agree with this location?
Well, we have a field inspector that validates the findings of the office folks.
Physically go out in the street?
We do. We physically go out the street to do measurements to make sure it's with the proper distance from other street furniture and other types of.
And the reason I'm being very specific on these locations is because there's frustration in my community on sites, certain locations that have been chosen, which we feel are inappropriate. And there are other concerns that these kiosks have brought to our communities. And I know that I'm gonna wait for the applicant or for the next panel to come and speak. One of the issues and concerns that we have is installing of these kiosks. I represent an extremely low income community. I have out of all 51 council members, I have one of the highest amounts of homeless shelters in my district. I'm housing more homeless people from outside my district than people that are homeless that actually live in my community. And this is past administrations. So this is a mess that they've created, and this is something that is challenging for our communities. And unfortunately, I also have homeless family or individuals who are refusing city help. They just choose to be, so they want to live in the street. And so they're using these kiosks to charge their phones, charge their technology that they may have. But what's happening is that some of these individuals are camping out. They're creating camps on these kiosks. And I've asked and there was a time where I had a specific issue on Longwood and Dawson Street. And I got pushback from I call them the applicant, but the person who has a contract as to what we're going to do to turn off the kiosks or how do we figure this out. And there was great opposition. And this is what started these conversations as to who chooses these locations. What happens if there's community opposition? And are you actually hearing our community opposition? And should there be council oversight in terms of a special permit so that the council can give its final stamp of approval as to where these kiosks are being put in city streets? And so that's the frustration that my community has.
Yeah, Chair Salmonga, I totally hear you, and we've seen it in other communities as well. So it's not unique. I totally understand the uniqueness in yours. What I would say is, so when we do get feedback from a community representative or a member of the public themselves about unhoused folks camped out at a site, we do, OTI is the tech agency, right? We don't do social services in that way, but we don't just wash our hands of it. We have a very aggressive a partnership with other city agencies, with social service agencies like Department of Homeless Services and the Mayor's Quality of Life Task Force that immediately address or seek to address the issue there. So they'll send someone out within a day or two, and I don't think it's ever gone more than 2 days, reach out to the individuals who may be camped out at the site, see if they can support them, get them services, and try to mitigate the issue that was brought to us. I totally understand, and it's a tough situation. Just
So let's go through this because they're watching. So you sent out you sent out DHS, and that individual refuses services. What's next?
I mean that from an OTI perspective.
No, what's next? Yeah, so that issue. So you follow the procedure that homeless individual is refusing services and they're physically camped out there. Yeah. What is the next step that you are? And they're camped out there because they're utilizing that kiosk as a source to charge their equipment and to watch TV, to just be stationed there. So what's next?
Yeah, I do know that both the quality of life folks from the mayor's office and the task force and homeless services will follow up and go back out either at our request if we get a secondary complaint or someone's to say that it didn't help or the person may not have been there when the social service representatives showed up. And then we'll repeat that effort. But I would also say, again, the kiosks, for all the good they're doing across the city, there really is no limit to who they should serve, right? And I don't want to speak for anyone else, but my personal opinion is whether you're unhoused or you're living in a high rise, that you should have access to technology. You should have access to Wi-Fi and be able to charge your device whenever you need it. Again, whatever your situation, whatever your life
I don't want to deviate from my question.
No, understood.
I agree with them. I have a kiosk in front of my office. And I see how it plays a positive role in my community. I don't have that issue in terms of encampment in front of my office. But there are certain areas in my community that we do have, and I want to go through this process. Yeah. What happens next now? And the reason that I'm asking these questions is, number one, this kiosk that was placed there should have never been placed there. Should have been placed across the street by the park. But the city at the time made its appropriate decision to place it there because a community board or a recommendation from a council member is just advisory to your agency. And that is the whole point of my idea of putting a special permit where you do not have the last say. So the community boards and the local members should have the last say so as to where these kiosks are placed. And the frustration that we had, how did we address that issue? After over close to 2 months, they were able to turn that kiosk off, and that individual ended up going somewhere else. And we were able to, in a short time, address that quality of life issue that we had in that location.
So moving forward, and you touched on it, shutting off that charging feature, which seems to be a draw for some folks, is certainly a mitigation effort that we explored currently and that we'll look at going forward as we come up with the new design to see if that or any other element of the structure is a source of the problem or a problem. So we could certainly look at that, and absolutely open to members here who may have additional thoughts on how we could do greater community engagement and have a larger impact on both where sites go and how if they're causing any long-term public nuisance.
Who owns the kiosk, the physical structure? Is it the city or?
They're owned by the franchisee.
The franchisee. Okay, perfect. What data is being collected through the kiosk, and how is that data stored and protected and used?
So the data, again, it's a private network. It's run completely by the franchisee. They do provide information on the number of Wi-Fi sessions, on number of phone calls, uptime, stuff like that, and that's all provided to us regularly and uploaded onto open data.
Okay. Have any studies or assessments been concluded to evaluate the potential health impacts associated with 5G technology used in or around the kiosks?
So just like we do with all of our telecom structures, so we also franchise the pole top structures across the city, of which there are about 6,000, which routinely get independent RF, radio frequency emissions testing to make sure that they're safe and they all come back clean. To date, there haven't been any tested on the link structures for the wireless, the mobile telecom side, because nothing has been activated to date just yet. But when it is, we will absolutely make sure that that's compliant with all federal regulations. Again, that's completely under the feds.
All right. And then lastly, finances. I know that you mentioned here that the program has generated $130 million in revenue for the city. Have you gotten that whole $130 million?
Yes, so that 130 has been paid to the city. That's based on franchise fees that have been paid to the city. Yeah.
All right. And are there any current monies that are owed to the city from this franchisee?
So there's, pursuant to the last amendment, the third amendment from several years ago, the franchisee was required to repay what's called the foreborn minimum annual guarantee, and they were given monthly installments to make those payments, and they've been paying those on time on their to date. So I think it was initially $60 million that they owed us, and they haven't missed a payment, and they owe us roughly, I think I have the number, $24 million.
25 million. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read. And how much is the monthly payment?
It varies. So the franchise fees escalate over time, and so does the foreborn mag. So I can get that to you, but it's a monthly payment that's submitted every month, and it increases over time.
Okay. All right. Again, my frustration and the reason for me being here is the locations, how they're chosen, and real community input, and how much that community input actually means to the final decision. Would your agency support a special permit where the council will have the final say so as to where these kiosks are placed?
Thank you for the question. I think we would be open to additional discussions with respect to the level of involvement the city council has, but it's the city's authority and also OTI's authority over technology and infrastructure that motivates this. So to the extent that we're trying to strike a balance between the public good and the good of a community somewhere down the line where this kiosk, when it was cited, it was fine, but then a condition develops later, we need to strike a particular balance with respect to that. You may say fine with respect to the permit on day one, but then still want that kiosk gone 2 or 3 years later. And given the fact that this is a very lengthy process in terms of engaging in these installations, I see that there may be a chance. I mean, I don't think it'll necessarily address your concerns, in all honesty.
No, I think the issue is that I feel that there are individuals who do not live in the communities are making decisions as to where these kiosks are placed when there's community opposition. And so that's really my basis of this argument. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to state for the record, we've been joined by Councilmember Salamanca. Just one more question, maybe. Oh, not Salamanca, excuse me, Councilmember Salam. Sorry, Councilmember Salam. Just from my understanding, when you guys are, I guess, identifying the areas for the kiosks, what is, I guess, what influences the areas that you put it in? Like, does it have to have the infrastructure there? Are there outside sources telling you they need it there? What influences this decision?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's a great question. Given that the Link 5G structures itself are designed and given its size to support the telecom industry to be able to improve telecommunications services, that's a driver of it. I don't want to say it's the driver of it. And yeah, as I mentioned, City Bridge will be testifying shortly after us, so they can maybe better speak to what goes into their decision making. But from our perspective, we want to improve telecommunications infrastructure, however we do it, through this franchise, through the others. This is one method by which they do that. So that's big for us.
I think with that list that you provided, if I do understand that it might be a lengthier process to have us as members be a part of this, but I do feel where Councilmember Salamanca is coming from, because we are the ones that have to address the concerns in our community. And going into a lot of districts, that has been a lot of concerns that there's a lot of encampments by these kiosks. So if there is some way that we could have the list and maybe members, council members or community boards can give locations that will be, doable for the kiosk, I think it would kind of, mitigate a lot of the issues that Councilmember Salamanca and a lot of people in our communities see. So I think there's space where we can have some balance that have a lot more community say, and you guys are actually listening, because these are actually members that know the corridors and know the activities that usually happen around them.
Yeah, for sure, and would totally appreciate that. And I would just note, going back to, I mentioned the earlier, I think 2021 period, there was an MOU that we signed with the borough presidents that I believe council members at the time were part of, or at least involved in discussions that outlined the community engagement process. And we could certainly take another look as a way to boost that up in lieu of a more, maybe complicated and potentially impactful, negatively impactful process that would affect the franchise. There may be another way to address the concerns through that.
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it. There be no more questions. This panel's excused.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next panel I'm going to call consists of Nicholas Calvin and Alex Spyropoulos. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Alex. First, we'll begin with Alex.
Good morning still. Thank you, Chair Riley and members of the subcommittee for the opportunity to provide testimony today. My name is Alex Spyropoulos, and I am here to testify on behalf of Tech NYC in strong support of extending the city's franchise agreement with Link NYC. For nearly a decade, New York City has been a national leader in recognizing that broadband is a critical infrastructure, not a luxury. Through the city's partnership with Link NYC, millions of New Yorkers and visitors have gained access to fast, free, and digital services in their neighborhoods. While the program has generated more than $130 million in revenue for the city, with at least $70 million more projected by 2035. In addition to my testimony, I have attached a letter from over 20 organizations representing business community, labor, nonprofit, civic, and community organizations in support of renewing Link NYC's franchise, underscoring the broad citywide backing for this critical infrastructure. To better understand how New Yorkers engage with this infrastructure, Tech NYC and Link NYC partnered in 2025 on a citywide survey. The findings were clear from it. Connectivity is essential, usage is growing, and there is broad public support for continuing and expanding Link NYC's work. 55% of New Yorkers now use free public Wi-Fi at least once a month, and a 6-point increase since 2023. Demand for fast, free Wi-Fi near home is especially strong, underscoring how important it is to deploy this infrastructure in residential neighborhoods, not just central business districts. At the same time, the survey highlights real affordability challenges. 35% of New Yorkers do not have an unlimited data plan, and among that group, 51% run out of data at least once per month per year. For these New Yorkers, free public Wi-Fi is not a convenience, it is a necessity that allows them to stay connected to work, school, healthcare, and government services when their paid data runs out. Extending the Link NYC franchise is therefore directly tied to the Council's broader goals around affordability, equity, and opportunity. For these reasons, and based on the clear evidence of public need and support from the joint Tech NYC and Link NYC survey, as well as the letter that I've attached, we respectfully urge the City Council and the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchises to extend the Link NYC franchise agreement. Doing so will reaffirm the city's commitment to an affordable, accessible, and future-ready digital infrastructure that serves every neighborhood and every New Yorker. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicholas?
Thank you, Chair Riley, Chair Salamanca, and members of the committee. My name is Nick Colvin. I'm the CEO of Link NYC. Since 2016, over 19 million users have connected to our free public Wi-Fi, the fastest of its kind anywhere. Every month, tens of thousands of New Yorkers use Link NYC to call 911, 311, 988, and the New York State EBT helpline, which is consistently the most frequently dialed number from Link NYC kiosks. I'm here to ask for your support of this authorizing resolution so Link NYC can keep doing what it was built to do, help make New York the most connected and accessible city in the country. A 5-year extension will keep private investment flowing into the program and generate a projected $70 million more in revenue for the city by 2035, all without burdening taxpayers. It will also give us time to design new structures, including smart poles tailored for residential and historic districts, reflecting the feedback we've heard from community members and council members alike. We're expanding access to connectivity in the neighborhoods that need it most. 90% of new deployments are above 96th Street and outside of Manhattan. And beyond connectivity, Lincoln NYC supports good-paying union jobs and generates a significant economic impact. Lincoln NYC has paid about $130 million to the city, and we provide tens of millions of dollars in free ad space for city agencies, community-based nonprofits, and local small businesses every year. No other program in the world combines free Wi-Fi, phone calls, device charging, direct access to city services, and critical 5G infrastructure, all without any public funding. This 5-year extension will ensure that we can keep strengthening this essential digital safety net, serving all New Yorkers, and equipping our city for a more connected future together. Thank you so much for giving me this time.
Thank you. I just have a couple of questions. I'll pass to Chair Salamanca. The kiosks. There was a redesign of the kiosks, correct?
That's correct.
Can you discuss why there was a redesign on the kiosks, and how many of these kiosks have been redesigned out of the 200? And I mean, it's in 2025, I think.
Yeah. So back in 21, when the additional service of cellular radio placements was added to the franchise, we created the Link 5G design. This is the first and only to date piece of infrastructure designed from the ground up to support wireless infrastructure. And that's because we're leveraging the private funding to deploy cellular infrastructure to help promote new deployments of the free services for New Yorkers. So the design was specifically to support up to 5 cellular radios, multiple technologies from all of the commercial carriers that are out there.
Okay. And the radius of the 5G connections, can you discuss how far the radius goes? Is it like half a mile, a mile?
It depends on the technology. So as I said, there's multiple technologies supported. The ultra fast, due to limitations of the technology inherent, not to the structure itself, but to the radios, it's more like 500 feet. Some of the other technologies that are slightly slower but can go much farther are more like 1,500 feet up to maybe half a mile, quarter mile, half a mile, something like that.
Do these factors determine the location of where you guys want to put the kiosks?
I would say a primary factor in the areas we target are based on 2 things. One is the equity targets of the city, so we do look at that, as well as the cellular carriers as the other primary objective. And the way it works is the carriers are very secretive about exactly where they need service, but they'll say, we need service in this, say 3-block area. So find somewhere in that 3-block area that will support this coverage need or this capacity need.
I think if communities knew where the carriers wanted to put the services, they could give a better response in where they would think will be the best location. I think when Chair Salamanca was speaking, he said that you guys put it one place and it would have been better suited across the street. So is there any way we could kind of push the carriers to kind of give us the location so we could kind of better suit and ask the community where within this radius do you feel it will be best for this kiosk?
I would love that. The carriers, like I said, are fairly secretive, and I will say that their needs change all the time as people's movement patterns change and where they live change and the demands on the network. So they don't give a lot of advance notice as to where they're looking. And I will also say, as Brett mentioned earlier, there are lots of requirements as far as siting criteria. I think there's over 100 stipulating various distances from other infrastructure like fire hydrants, bus shelters, entrances to buildings, a myriad of things that go into selecting a specific location on the sidewalk. So it's not really feasible for the carriers to pick a site because they're not familiar with all those rules.
Yeah.
So what they do is they give us the area, and then we comb through all those rules. We do surveys first on a desk, like a desktop exercise, and then we send people out to the street to validate what the maps we have are telling us about what's available. And often, in say a 2-block stretch, we may find only one site in that entire 2-block stretch that's actually compliant with the siting criteria that are imposed upon us by both local, city, state, and federal requirements.
Okay. Chair Salamanca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How are you? So I have a few questions for you. First, I want to say that having this service in my community, knowing the community that I represent, my community is benefiting from these services. So just want to be clear on that. The frustration here is the unintended consequence And I think that some of these unintended consequences can be addressed if you come and talk to us and listen to us and allow us to tell you what's the best locations for these kiosks. So I want to start very quickly. Is there a way for you to track the amount of USB usage or energy, or every time someone plugs in their telephone to recharge a piece of electronic or equipment?
Unfortunately, right now, due to the technology that was available when we first designed this 10 years ago, we are not able to tell that. We do have an upgrade to the USB charger that we are getting ready to begin rolling out now. So in the coming months and years, we will be able to track that on a site-by-site basis. But today, we cannot track that remotely.
What's the cost of installing one of these kiosks?
That varies greatly per site, but I will say it is north of $70,000 per site, and sometimes a lot more.
70,000. So that's breaking up
As-
the
as a-
ground,
as a minimum.
installing. Then that doesn't include the piece of equipment.
That includes the piece of equipment also. It also includes trenching to the nearest manhole for electricity, for fiber, getting the fiber backbone to the location. That's why the cost can go up dramatically from there, and also conditions on the street affect it.
And you're subcontracting these installations.
That's correct. We work with a number of different civil contractors
And their
others.
union labor.
Correct.
Good. Now, full transparency, we had a conversation. I know that I had more questions than you wanted to hear what my concerns were. But something that struck me, there was an issue on that same location on Longwood and Dawson where they installed a kiosk next to a homeowner who owns a daycare. Listen to this, Mr. Chair. And during the installation, and it occurred, first, there was no notification for her. One day, she just saw, a group of individuals just they were just there, hanging out there all hours of the night. And then her Con Ed bill just skyrocketed. And for some reason, they connected the kiosk to there was some faulty connection where the kiosk was connected to her. She was being charged for electricity that was being used on this kiosk. When she notified us, we were able to work with your organization and Con Ed, and the issue was addressed. But you did mention that you utilize Con Ed, right, to connect the electrical?
We pay civil contractors to do the actual running of the line to the Con Ed manhole, but yes, we pay Con Ed for each and every connection and a dedicated connection to each kiosk. So I have no idea how that happened. That shouldn't be possible as far as I understand it.
Yeah. All right. All right. Now, in terms of going back to the locations, I did learn that it's OTI who has the final say. So you're identifying locations and presenting them to the OTI, and they're the ones that are giving you the green light.
That's right.
Or saying, no, this is not an appropriate location.
That's right. And we do, I will say, we support OTI in reaching out to communities and to council members and to borough presidents to let them know this is coming and to present to them and hear their concerns firsthand. And at times we'll even go out. So an example would be, I think, actually Chair Riley's district. I think we reached out and spoke to you even before the community board meeting, and you recommended we speak to, I think it was Parkside Terrace, something like that was the name of the property. What's that? Mark Terrace. Okay, thank you. And we went out and spoke to them, and they suggested a different location. Thankfully, we were able to move it there. I will say we try to accommodate every request to move a kiosk. If it makes more sense for the community, we want these to make sense to the community where they're located. Sometimes we can't because of those very many siting criteria that we have to adhere to. Sometimes, even though a site looks like it might be okay. I mean, the example you brought up about the park, I can't speak to that specific location, but we are prohibited from being within a certain distance of a park, for example. So there's lots of things that may appear to be a perfect spot, but there's arcane rules that prevent us from installing there.
I have a question about that. Who is that a city rule? Those are their restrictions that they put where you cannot be by a city park?
Many of them, yes. There are others that are federal in nature. I believe there's some other state restrictions as well. There's many different layers of regulatory oversight on this.
Okay. Very quickly, I just want to go back into the finances. Right?
Sure.
And I know that the OTI, they spoke earlier and they said that there was a $60 million debt, and you brought it down to $25 million. And I know this because in my past, I've been chair of land use since 2018, and during the budget hearings, we would ask OTI and the commissioner, what's the status of this money that is owed? Why was the debt incurred? And I know that you're paying it down, but I'm just curious.
without going into like sort of all of the details of the past, the program was restructured in 2021 to right size both the finances and the deployment targets. If you go all the way back to 2014, when the franchise was originally sort of envisioned by the city and the original folks who worked at City Bridge to bring this together, there were a lot of assumptions that were made regarding how much it would cost to build the network and how much revenue it would generate. Unfortunately, as is too often the case, the cost projections were far too low and the revenue projections were far too high. And so the minimum annual guarantee that was set originally in the program was based on that original assumption about revenue and cost that was just unfortunately quite wrong. So there came a point where while we were still continuing to deploy, we couldn't afford to keep deploying and also pay a very high minimum annual guarantee at the same time. So we continued deploying, stopped paying the minimum annual guarantee, and worked with the city at that point to start with restructuring the program to right size it in that way.
Okay. Is there a commitment from your agency or your office that when a community board or a council member is having a similar issue with individuals who are camping out on these kiosks, that you would move much quicker to deactivate that kiosk until we figure out a long-term solution to address that issue?
I will say, when you say deactivate, I'll speak to the USB or a specific
USB,
service
because
that's
they're
being,
using
if
it for
there's a service
electrical
that's being
services, yes.
problematic. Absolutely. I do want to say that we are required by our contract to provide USB charging as an example, and don't have discretion to deactivate it for weeks or permanently or anything like that. We do need the city to tell us to do that.
So it's the city's decision to tell
we
you
have
to
to be instructed.
deactivate the USB.
Correct. If there's a site that, like the case that you're
Yes.
describing, where we want to, the community is asking for it to be deactivated for several weeks, we need the city to tell us to do that.
Okay.
And we'll work with you. We're happy to talk to you and raise the concern as well, but we can't unilaterally make that decision.
All right. And then finally, your prices, your fees for advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a sliding fee for non-for-profits?
We actually provide free advertising for nonprofits.
Free advertising for
within
all
reason. I mean, there's obviously different sizes of nonprofits, and there's guardrails around how much free advertising you can get, but we do give free advertising to local nonprofits and also small businesses that meet certain criteria in terms of the size of the business.
You have kiosks where they're bids. Are you offering that same service to the bids?
I believe we do offer that to the bids. I mean, basically, and Nicole, who's here with me, kind of runs that part of the program, and she can keep me honest here.
She's shaking her head.
Yes,
so
she
she's
is. I see
saying
her
yes.
shaking. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole.
She made eye contact. Yeah.
But yeah, yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Mr. Chair, thank you for the opportunity to ask these questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. It seems like our beef is with the city, so not with you guys. No, we truly appreciate it, and we know how important this service is. I think we just want to make sure that it's more efficient. So thank you for willing to hear our concerns and actually addressing them. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
There being no more questions, this panel is excused. We're going to go into public testimony, and we're going to begin with this panel, which consists of Thomas Terzulli, Steve Murphy, and Christopher Leon Johnson. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and testifying today. We'll begin first with Steve, and then we'll start with Thomas.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Steve, if you could just talk a little bit closer to it.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak. On behalf of the officers and nearly 27,000 members of Local Union Number 3, IBEW, thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of the Link NYC franchise extension. My name is Steve Murphy. I've been a journeyman electrician for the last 39 years in Local Union Number 3. Link New York City plays an essential role in building the telecommunications and digital infrastructure that powers New York's economy and keeps our city connected. As a member of Local Union Number 3, IBEW, I strongly support the Link New York City program because it has consistently stood with union workers and delivered real measurable economic benefits for working families across all the 5 boroughs. Since its inception, Link New York City has supported hundreds of good-paying union jobs, from construction and installation to the ongoing maintenance and operations of these units. These are solid middle-class careers that allow New Yorkers to support their families, buy homes, and reinvest in their communities. The program's commitment to using union labor ensures that the benefits of modern infrastructure are shared by the workers who build and maintain it. When you support Link New York City, you're supporting the union jobs, small business owners, and the economic foundation of this great city. Link New York City strengthens our middle class, invests in our local workforce, and keeps our city's economy moving forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Steve, for your testimony. Thomas?
Thomas is early local 3 member. I just want to say Link New York City has given many opportunities to a lot of people that live in, I think, actually some of your councilman communities. And union paying jobs bring up the income of and our diversity in union paying jobs with women, minorities, bring people up out of poverty, give them a fair working chance, sends their kids to schools, but also gives insurance, which we know is under assault in this country, to union members, which are your constituents. So supporting this project would be great for New York City, great for the underprivileged people that we're going to expand this to, and great for New York City citizens that rely on good union jobs and a living wage. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Thomas, for your testimony. Your excuse. We're going to transition to online testimony. This panel will consist of Edward Wallace, Dirk McCall, and Peter Resingo. We'll begin first with Edward Wallace. Edward, if you can hear me, please unmute and you may begin.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No?
Yes, go ahead, Edward.
I'm actually going to decline to testify, save you the time, and we'll submit a memorandum. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edward. Next, we'll hear from Dirk McCall. Sergeant, turn it up a little bit. Dirk, if you can hear me, please unmute and you may begin. Dirk McCall, if you can hear me, please unmute and you may begin. Okay, we'll move to Peter Resingo.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the New York Electrical Contractors Association, New York City's leading trade association of unionized electrical contractors, signatory to a collective bargaining agreement with Local 3, thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of the franchise extension for Link New York City. Link New York City plays an essential role in building the telecommunications and digital infrastructure that powers New York's economy and keeps our city connected. As labor leaders, we strongly support Link New York City's program because it has consistently stood with union workers and delivered real, measurable economic benefits for working families across the 5 boroughs. Since its inception, Link New York City has supported hundreds of good-paying union jobs, from construction and installation to the ongoing maintenance and operations of the program. These are solid middle-class careers that allow New Yorkers to support their families, buy homes, and reinvest in their communities. The program's commitment to using union labor ensures the benefits of modern infrastructure is shared by the workers who build it and maintain it. The economic ripple effect is substantial. Link New York City has generated over $1.3 billion in local economic activity, $780 million in labor income, and $130 million in direct revenue for the city, all while providing free public Wi-Fi and nationwide phone calling at no cost to the taxpayers. Beyond its union workforce, Link New York City's Link Local initiative has helped more than 2,000 small businesses and nonprofits, many of them minority and women-owned, access over $16 million in free digital advertising, helping them compete and grow. While you support Link New York City, you are supporting union jobs, small business owners, and the economic foundation of the city of New York. Link New York City strengthens our middle class, invests in our local workforce, and keeps our city economy moving forward. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today, and we support your continued efforts to renew this franchise extension. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Dirk McCall, you can press *6 to unmute and you may begin.
Hi. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair Riley and members of the subcommittee for this opportunity to bring testimony. My name is Dirk McCall de Paloma, and I'm the Executive Director of the Sunnyside Shines Business Improvement District in Sunnyside, Queens. I'm honored to be here today to speak in support of the City Bridge Franchising Authorizing Resolution Amendment. Sunnyside Shines works very closely with Link NYC, and their network is incredibly helpful to the residents of Sunnyside. We advertise many local events on the kiosk regularly, and every time we advertise, we hear from many people that they saw the kiosks and the advertisements. We've been working with our local merchants to get more of them to advertise on the kiosks as well. It's an amazing way to share information with the public. Every day we see people using the kiosk to charge phones to access the internet. It's been very, very welcome in Sunnyside, and the more kiosks we can have in Sunnyside, the better. We strongly encourage the authorization to extend this franchise for another 5 years, and I thank you for this opportunity to bring testimony.
Thank you, Dirk. If there are any other members of the public who want to testify, please use your raise hand function online. And if you're in the room, please see one of the sergeant at arms. We will stay at ease for 30 seconds. Okay. There being no other members of the public who wish to testify on Resolution 1109 of 2025 regarding an amendment to the Public Communication Structure Franchise Authorizing Resolution, the public hearing is now closed and the items are laid over. That concludes today's business. I would like to thank the members of the public, my colleagues, subcommittee counsel, land use, and other council staff, and the sergeant at arms for participating in today's meeting. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.